problem, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So, any news from Vidya? How's her father?
No, ma'am, I tried to. Yeah, sorry, Divya.
No, actually, I had conversation on WhatsApp, and he was about to be discharged from the hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. So let's begin with from where we wanted to. The last Sunday that we ended the class on change. We'll continue the same change theories now. There was one particular one which was left, so I'll just open it and then we'll start with that. Yeah. So this is the one that we have to talk about, the TTM model. So it's basically a very interesting one, not really something that you can learn it. It's basically we experience it every time we go through any kind of change in our lives. It can be a very small change, like getting up early in the morning if you're a late riser, or sleeping early in the night, or incorporating yoga asanas in our life. Any change for that matter, it goes through these 5 stages, and very beautifully, it takes you through this completely. This particular change theory talks completely about how in coaching a lot of people shows behavioral change, whether it is sports coaching you talk about, whether it is life coaching you talk about, whether meditation or yoga coaching you talk about, any coaching for that matter. And people have shown how kind of what kind of behavioral changes their body, their mind, their action takes them through. So number one stage is here is basically talking about pre-contemplation stage, where what happens with us is resistance. Anything new comes to our life, what is our reaction all the time is, I don't want to change. I don't want to bring this to me. Right? There are so many thoughts within our body, our mind, which keeps telling us, "Ye nahi ho payega, let's not do it. We are wasting time." So this is the first stage of uh, not accepting the change. Then second आता है वहाँ जहाँ पर we start actually thinking about preparing ourselves a little bit. Let's change, let's think about it. What will happen? So we will start comparing the do's and don'ts, the pros and cons. What will happen if I change? What will happen if I incorporate this new thing in my life? What will happen if I go through this particular phase? So this is called contemplation. So like the name suggests, the contemplation ka dictionary meaning is all about this, that we contemplate in our mind, that there is a thought process has begun, which says that okay, let's see what this change has to say to us. Third आता है आपका इसके अंदर preparation. That means now you are preparing for the action to happen in terms of what change has to bring to us. Right? So now what are these changes that has to happen in us is we will prepare them ourselves for that. Fourth is now you are taking actions. For example, suppose you have to incorporate a new asana in for asana. You have to learn something new. We have been talking about Ashta Yoga. We are talking about different kind of things. I was actually taking my son through the Gita, a new book which Rupa Rai has written. It says Gita for Children, and it's a wonderful book. It has hilarious the way it is written down, a lot of jokes incorporated, a lot of humor, a lot of good things about it. So any child above the age of 9, 10 can actually read this book on its own if they are really good in English reading. Otherwise, as a parent, if we take them through this, so I actually told my son, he's 12 now, but I said, let's read it together. So yesterday, because nothing was working, no internet, there was completely shutdown of internet here in Punjab. So I said, let's just read. And once we started at 7:15 reading about this book, by 10:30 we got up because my husband was out, so both of us were alone at home, and we didn't realize the 3.5 hours we have read this book. It has shlokas, it has meaning of shlokas, how those shlokas can be incorporated for a child in terms of their school life. Lessons करने हैं तो वो क्यों ड्यूटी है, what is the responsibility, why Gita should be incorporated in the way that we do. So that preparation for action has come from Gita only. where he actually talks about, Krishna actually talks about that Sakha, it's the time that, we have to take and accept the change that is going to happen. You are contemplating whether it is right or wrong at this point in time, knowing that you are on a fair side, you are on a good side. Right? So that's what the entire change process, transformation is all about. Then we start taking actions when we get ready to do something. So, like bringing any asana in our life, we have prepared our body, we start getting up in the morning, we have taken classes, we have found a guru, lot of things we do. But then it comes to taking action, is like we have nobody, even then. It's our responsibility or duty to do that particular job. So, if we have learned asana, Kavita ma'am has told us so many things, so now it's my time to practice it. That's so important. Then maintenance. So now, because you have learned something, you have taken action on that, what about taking it for a longer time period so that it turns into a behavior? It doesn't remain a skill, it doesn't remain a competency, it doesn't remain just as a good habit. It turned into a behavior, and then once the behavior changes, that means the whole characteristics of a person starts changing from then onwards. Right? So that's how this trans theoretical model theory talks about the change that happens. It talks about these things. So the first stage they talk about is, they say pre-contemplation stage is I won't. So as a coach, what are the skills that you're going to use in this entire process? Is listening, showing empathy, acceptance, acceptance of who the person is, who they are, why are they behaving in this manner, why they have some problems, why are they not doing what they are supposed to do. Because हम कभी कभी एकदम judgmental हो जाते हैं that यार ये तो बहुत easy चीज़ है, why this person is not doing, why he or she is not understanding this. So that acceptance has to come, that not everybody is equal, not everybody is similar, not everybody will have a similar kind of choice or the lifestyle. Hence, that acceptance is very important on our part. Then inquiry, like we have spoken about pehle bhi, that inquiry, asking questions, knowing in detail, going inside the heart and soul of the person, understanding why things are happening the way it is happening. Then reflection, affirmation, reframing the entire thing that you have just heard from them, sharing, and brainstorming. Right? All these things will not happen at one go. It will come slowly. So it may start with listening, it may start with inquiring, then it can take the form of empathy and acceptance, then it can become reframing, and then it goes to sharing and brainstorming. Right? The explanation also is written here, so you can read the explanation. It says that we have all been there, and all the clients know that we understand all their requirements and needs. Right? It's not the time to judge anybody, it's just to empathize. Right? So when people are suffering with something, that means that they have come to you for a solution. And when they have come to you solution, that means there is a lot of trust involved. When the trust involved, you have to reflect the same trust in them. That means no judgment, no prejudices, no bias. Right? Acceptance of the people, not about lecturing them, not giving them solutions कि मेरे पास तो सब ready made है ये ले लो, but first going into this mode of empathy, acceptance, understanding, reflection, brainstorming, and then sharing with them. Right? That's how pre-contemplation. So that's how you are going to change I won't say I can't. Right? Now the second stage has come where people says I can't, I understand the change has to happen, but still I can't. I'm not ready, I cannot get up early in the morning, I can't sleep early, I have responsibilities. So that can't wala phase so doesn't go. Right? I won't say these other difficulties, I think I can't. And now how do you are going to handle this I can't? What are the skills that you as a coach are going to use in the entire system, whatever things you are incorporating in your package? Listening again, right? Empathy again, acceptance again, inquiry again, reflection, affirmation, reframing, sharing, and sorting barriers. Because जब can't चीज आती है, that means there are a lot of blockages in us. There are a lot of barriers in us. There is a trauma, there is emotional pain, there is something that is blocking everything. Maybe बचपन में parents ने बहुत बार बोला हो, you can't do this, you are not meant for this. Maybe teachers ने बोला हो, you are not good for anything. So all those things have been stored in our mind. When these things kept storing in our mind, it goes into subconscious mind. And 90% of the time, our subconscious mind works. कॉन्शियस माइंड इतना जल्दी काम नहीं करता है. सो सबकॉन्शियस माइंड से जब आ रहा है, so that means it starts saying I can't do that, right? I need validation, I need confirmation from people if I can do that or not. So that has to be removed by the coach. That's how the behavior change is going to get incorporated. Now imagine you have these two stages. What do you think the third stage would be? I won't, I can't के बाद what will you name the third stage? Or imagine क्या होता है हमारे change process में.
Let's try.
Let's try आ जाता है I can't के बाद एकदम से. Or what will you call? Maybe let's try is the right thing. What may you will call it?
I may.
Hmm?
I may change. I may.
Yeah, correct. Very true. So the third thing is let's try, or I might be able to do it. I may. Let's put a little bit about, let's learn a little bit about this entire thing, and then might bring in some change in me. Maybe the third stage. Yeah. The third stage is I might. Correct? Again, skills to use, same listening, empathy, acceptance, because this is what the coach you're supposed to do. But what is the explanation? How you're going to explain it to the person, or how you're going to have that understanding about the entire process of change that is happening. So what you're going to do is, their contemplators need to get in touch and stay connected. Right? That means the person has taken that step towards you. They have taken that leap of faith towards you, and they want to stay connected in terms of what kind of things that are going to change, what is the intrinsic motivation that is happening in their mind, what are their core values, what are their strengths that we are going to change. So, at this point in time where people are contemplating whether we want to make that change or not, you can introduce SWOT analysis also. You can bring them that model where you can talk about, write down all about your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats, whatever you may feel. And then at the end of doing this SWOT analysis or introspection, you can decide whether you want to really bring that change in you or not. Right? Then आता है आपका fourth. Now fourth is what? I will. Right? So from I might, now we have shifted to I will. That means I have decided in my mind that I will start preparing myself for the action that I have to take. So now maybe because I want to learn yoga, so from denial to then contemplating, then again thinking whether I have started searching for a guru. So that is I will stage. Now here we also bring in a lot of experimenting, because you may not find the first guru as important. You may not find the first guru that you have chosen according to your needs and requirements. So it's not that the gurus are not available. There are plenty of them. But we always feel कुछ तो हमारे जैसा उनके अंदर है. We always try and see our reflection somewhere. Or we try and find out a guru who has some kind of, either in their examples, even in their theories, और किसी भी तरीके से वो हमारे जैसी बात करते हैं, कुछ भी. They look very similar to us in our habits, in our behaviors. They talk something, or they actually touch upon those points which are pain points for us. Right? That's why we start liking those gurus. So you do experimenting. But once you find that person out, what you do is you give a commitment to them. Then honoring, then testing, and then scheduling. Right? So now testing and scheduling is what? Testing and scheduling is for the coach to find out what kind of model is going to work with this person. What kind of coaching style I can bring to this entire thing. What kind of asanas this person can actually perform and cannot perform. Right? Whether I can introduce the meditation techniques of relaxation, breathing techniques immediately in the first two phases of classes, or maybe on later stages. Right? So this is all about honoring, testing, and scheduling. Now, what is the explanation to this entire segment is, once people have strong motivators, they start knowing their barriers also. Right? Once they know, they are aware that their barriers are there, they find out possible solutions, or they start to look for possible solutions. So that means, as a coach, what are you going to do is you are going to design the actions for them. You will give them complete session-wise scheduling. You will introduce different models. You are going to introduce different kind of things. depending upon what kind of ailments, disease, problems they have come to you for. Right? You want to introduce food techniques, different food techniques. You want to introduce some meals that will enjoy, anything for that matter. So you will now give them those techniques that you have learned slowly by discovering, by design, by commitment to do experiment with various strategies that you are going to introduce here. Right? उसके बाद आ जाता है fifth stage is I am. So that means I am doing. Like जैसे affirmations जानते हैं आप लोग? You have done affirmations ever? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have done affirmations, what do you do in affirmations? You never say I won't, I can't, I will,
Uh,
right? You always
yes,
believe that I am.
I am.
So why we do I am is because I want to become what I intend to, what I manifest. जो भी मैं सोचना करना चाहता हूँ, desire है या dream है, whatever it is, I want to become that. So that is the reason why affirmations also talk about I am. So I am is the change is happening in you. You have accepted that the change has begun. You have faith in universe, you have faith in Almighty God, whosoever. That's the reason why we do affirmations, so that it starts bringing that change. And slowly, if you do your affirmations properly, the change also happens. Right? Most of the people say law of attraction doesn't work for me. Why it doesn't work for people? Because they doubt. Every stage there is a doubt which comes. So that leap of faith तो दिखा दिया कि कर लेते हैं, but उसको proper belief नहीं किया. We didn't show that entire faith that we are supposed to do. So similar things happen with the coachee also, client and coach also. So you have a client who will come to you. They have come to you for a lot of faith, a lot of things. They have said I am, so let's do that change. But once you start giving them some techniques or some relaxation, कुछ भी आप introduce करोगे, कोई आसना नहीं, मेरे पीठ में दर्द होता है, so all those excuses वाला phase will again start. So that means they have taken that leap of faith, but the belief has not formed. So for that belief to form, for that trust to happen between the two personalities, this stage talks about various things that you do. So like the first line you read in explanation, it says it's a time for a coach to become a cheerleader. So you're not just a coach, you're not a friend, you're not a guide. Now you're a cheerleader also, the person who is giving them an extrinsic motivation. इंट्रिंसिक तो आ गई, इसीलिए सर्च किया, इसीलिए आपके पास आए, बट एक्सट्रिंसिक नहीं है मोटिवेशन, किसी और को भी थोड़ा सपोर्ट देना पड़ता है. हम बकअप करते हैं ना कि पीछे से थपथपाते हैं, चलो कम ऑन, यू कैन डू इट, लेट्स डू इट. सो दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ चीयर लीडिंग थिंग दैट यू हैव टू डू फॉर द एक्शन टू हैपन इन दिस स्टेज. राइट? दे वांट लॉट ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस फ्रॉम यू बिकॉज फेलियर्स विल हैपन. एक्शन हो रहा है तो फेलियर भी होगा, सक्सेस रेट का गारंटी नहीं है. राइट? सो दैट इज हैपनिंग. So hence, lot of energy from your side, positive energies, commitment and confidence, along with your motivation. That will bring the entire change that has to happen. Right? This is what Sadhguru also calls as re-engineering of body, mind, and soul. That's the entire procedure. There is an entire package that he has created. He charges good amount of money for that. And that entire thing is basically based on this particular thing which is called re-engineering. So re-engineering क्या कर रहे हैं हम? Like we studied in last time, one of the theories, unlearn, make the change happen, and relearn. So that unlearning has happened. Now you have taken the action of learning, and now relearning is also happening. पुराने में से सब चला गया, नया सब कुछ फेल हो रहा है. Bible also has a very beautiful phase about it. Bible says that जब भी हमारा घड़ा भर जाता है, a lot of things have actually been stored into that ghada. So once it starts pouring out, that means the thing has changing. जो अंदर था, imagine now you have a glass of water, right? Completely filled glass of water. If you pour more water, what will happen?
Fill. Overflow.
Right? So the water will start overflowing. Now, can you ensure that जो पानी आप डाल रहे हो सिर्फ वो फ्लो हो रहा है या जो अंदर था वो बाहर निकल रहा है? What is the science says? The science says जो पहले उसके अंदर था, because the pressure is happening, so जो अंदर वाला है वो पहले बाहर आएगा. So that means once you are putting new things inside, the overflow of past
Old
things,
things.
old memories, old behaviors are coming out. That is why that overflow happens. Right? In few seconds or in few minutes, the glass will be refilled with the fresh water. completely fresh water. So that is how the relearning has happened. You have entirely changed your past behaviors, habits, which you wanted to leave, and now you have become a new you. राइट. सो व्हेन पीपल टॉक अबाउट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, कैसे बॉडी के साथ साथ जब वेट लॉस कर रहे होते हैं तो बॉडी के साथ साथ माइंड भी चेंज होता है, बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्ट चेंज हो जाते हैं. वाई? बिकॉज व्हेन यू स्टार्ट ईटिंग हेल्दी फूड, व्हेन यू स्टार्ट डूइंग एक्सरसाइजेस, तो बहुत सारा ध्यान ओवर थिंकिंग से, पास्ट वाली चीज़ों से, जो भी नेगेटिव थॉट्स आते हैं उन सबसे हटके इट हैज़ गॉन टू नाउ वेरी पॉजिटिव चेंज. And once you start feeling changing your body, you see the reflection of yourself in mirror, you see a new you every day. Even if 100 grams goes away from our face, we actually start feeling कि हाँ मेरे face से कुछ कम हुआ है, you know, my hair has started looking healthy. So all these changes we notice, it brings a lot of positivity in us because that change is very visible. Behavior change आने में takes time because it doesn't come very eventual, it doesn't become very evident that you know it has changed, you have changed. So that is the reason why IM takes a lot of time and it needs lot of motivation from outside as a cheerleader. Now what will happen from this stage? What will happen in the next stage? Action हो गया है यहाँ पर. What will we do?
We'll try to maintain.
Correct. So now the maintenance will happen. So that maintenance is what?
Consistent behavior of change what we have adopted.
That means I still am. Right? So
I
I still am. I will continue to be like this. Okay? So I still am basically, like a science says, it takes 21 days to develop a new habit. Right? Me? Or 21 months to develop a new lifestyle completely. If you want to change the lifestyle, it will take 21. So that 21 has a very deep meaning scientifically also, spiritually also. If you incorporate, जैसे again the same example I tell you, I was reading Gita, it says that all those people who fought, the number of horses, the number of elephants, it all comes down to the number 9, 18, number 18. So even Gita has 18 chapters, right? So all these things, so everything which is used in Gita, everything comes down to number 18. So it has a very, very huge significance. 18 days tak chali Mahabharat, 18 chapters hain, you know, so all these things are there. So that means these numbers has very significant value in our life, the way we are transforming. And number 9 actually talks about transformation that has to happen. So from bad to good, whatever the transformation was, that has happened. Similarly, 21 days on number 3 actually talks about, again, the change that we have to bring in ourselves. So this year is again number 3, 2022. It comes to like that, and number 3 actually becomes very, very successful. Now it's in the multiples of, so 2, 6 आ जाता है इसको total करके. So 6 in the multiple of 3 is a very, very huge amount of change that is going to happen this year, and that is the reason why people say that Corona will go away. So we will be removed from that. So that transformation has to happen, right? So now, in order to bring that, maintain that flexibility in our life, in order to bring that change for a longer period of time, what we do is we challenge ourselves regularly. We bring different kind of challenges to us. For example, जब हम अपनी weight loss journey पे होते हैं, for example, right? Just to make it simplified, so we do a lot of asanas, we do pranayam, we do exercises, walk, everything, and we also make changes in the food habit and the sleeping habit also, without which things will not take shape. So it's not just one thing which will encounter, which you will change in yourself, that will bring the end result. There would be a combination of different things. So now all these combination of different things will help you encounter different kind of challenges. कभी खाने का वो सामान घर पे नहीं है, right? That right meal is not available. So what are you going to do? Will you do a cheat meal, or you will wait and get things? You know, so it will take a different kind of challenge for you. आसन नहीं आ रहा है, right? कैसे करेंगे उस आसन को? You will take time to learn. You know, you will have an acceptance. You will give enough amount of challenge your guru has given you. So you will still start practicing it. Practice करने से भी एक दिन में वो नहीं आएगा, right? So like Divya showed us that picture that she could do that asana. I keep forgetting her
It
name.
took me a
हाँ,
1 month.
तो मुझसे
शीर्षासन.
ही नहीं होता है शीर्षासन, right? So that is the
It
reason
took
I keep
1 month for
forgetting.
me to
Yeah, so
get
that
into it.
that 1 month, I actually left in between कि नहीं हो रहा है so छोड़ देते हैं, right? So I
Uh,
am that kind of a person. So that change to happen took 1 month, right? So in 1 month, how many challenges she might have encountered? She might have fallen 2 3 times, right? She might have changed the mattress की इस पे ठीक से नहीं हो रहा है. She might have changed the way she was doing it. Whether I will, because there are 3 ways of doing Shirshasana in a proper manner. अब कौन से वाले तरीके से start करें so that we'll bring the right kind of results. So different kind of challenges we encounter for the maintenance to happen for a long time. Right? So that's how this entire change theory or this particular thing helps coach find out at every stage where you are, where you people are, and how you can actually schedule their entire sessions in a manner so that that behavioral change also starts being shown, right, to you. It also talks about modeling improvisation. So modeling improvisation means there was a change that has to happen. Right? Now, for that change to go for a longer time period, you need to be a little flexible about making some change in the change. Right? For example, शीर्षासन नहीं हो रहा है. So, what are the other things that we can incorporate? क्या अर्ध शीर्षासन से काम चल जाएगा? For the results that we were encountering, or should we introduce one or more simpler ones so that people can actually, get the similar kind of result? If not that, so that modeling improvisation is from what we are, and again we have to improve a little bit what we are going to do. What are we going to incorporate in the entire system? Right? Then creativity. Now, creativity is playing with different kind of things. Right? You know the solutions, but you know the temperament of your client. बहुत जल्दी गुस्सा आ जाता है या बहुत शांत नहीं है या he or she gets irritated. So you know their nature, you know their behavior. So now what to do as a coach is you become very creative in terms of introducing different segments to them. Right? So for example, I tell you, there was one new person who's come for healing. So now this person is really, really very bothered about a very close relative, very close relative. And this person, when we did that visualization exercise, even before the Reiki healing could start, I told her to do that visualization exercise, whiteboarding, so that she start forgiving that person. Because दिमाग में वो इतना भरा हुआ है about that person. Generally, we don't introduce whiteboarding or visualization at such early stages. But because the mind was so full, that cup was so full कि कुछ भी डालने से नहीं जा रहा था. So what you have to do is you have to take everything out. So everything out will come from how? Which session, which technique? Relaxations, visualizations, whiteboarding, so different kind of techniques are there. So you as a coach has to decide purely on the temperamental or on the behavior or the way your client is and how are they going to take things. So they will accept the change at the first stage also, at the third stage also. You need to get creative and introduce things at a different and variation ways. Right? That's how this is going to happen. Then you introduce rewards also. So this is a wonderful step because of something has happened. Right? So जैसे हमने weight loss किया, so initially 2-3 किलो कम करने के बाद what we generally do is we give them a reward कि okay, now you can have a Coca-Cola if you really like that. You can have a rasgulla or gulab jamun, whatever you really love. So you can actually have that. So that cheat things there, rewards are there. So what happens is that people actually tend to take this forward for a longer period of time if you are rewarded. So this is also called positive reinforcement study. तो पॉजिटिव reinforcement जैसे हम डॉग्स को टीच करते हैं अपने घर में. सो नो मैटर आप कितना उनको डंडा दिखा दो, थप्पड़ दिखा दो, what they learn from is positive reinforcements only. So you have to give them treat and teach them something, a new behavior, a new thing, right? So this is how it works for human beings also. Right? It is also called conditional theory in psychology. So conditional theories, you put somebody through different kind of condition, one condition only various point of time, थोड़े टाइम के बाद फोर्थ फिफ्थ टाइम में वो कंडीशन इतना हो जाएगा माइंड कि he or she will do the same thing again. Right? So condition theory basically started with, I'll tell you this example. It's a very good example. I still remember from psychology that they were doing experiments on two rats. So what they used to do is they used to offer the food to a rat and give it to them. So the rat used to come eat the food. Then what they started doing is they started ringing bell the moment they used to give the food to offer food to rats. So what happened initially, at the later stage was when they were ringing the bell and they were not even offering the food, still rat used to come out of there. Right? So that's how you can actually condition. So human minds can also be conditions because rats के ऊपर सारे experiments इसलिए होते हैं because their body, their mind, it says generally scientists says that it works very much like human beings. Right? So that's how you can also bring in condition changing for human beings. Right? So that's all about this theory. All other theories we have already done. This is how the picture actually depicts the book that we have taken from this entire exercise of TTM. It talks about that. For maintaining a good life, you have to take action, prepare for action, think about it. Then a lot of lapses or sliding backwards will happen, a lot of barriers will come, and you may not be ready for that. But ultimately, what will happen? You will eventually have that change in you. Right? So it talks about this is the so spiral way में हमारी सब changes चलते हैं, a lot of things, emotions, patterns, different kind of things, but ultimately what we reach is the ultimate goal of making the behavior change. Right? Rest all theories we have already done. So if you have some questions on them, then you can ask. Otherwise, this topic is done. So, change ko map karna is very important when you become a coach, any kind of coach, even if you're becoming a teacher. So, for teacher also, if you're teaching yoga to somebody, it's very important to see how the transformation is happening at every stage, right? Whether physically, whether mentally or spiritually, right? Because when you read, again, there is a very beautiful explanation of yoga in Gita also. All the Ashtanga yoga के बारे में complete बताया हुआ है. So how your body changes, how your mind changes, how cheerleading yoga can also happen. So all the phases. So from starting from your discipline, then incorporating asanas, then becoming sadhvi, or maybe bringing meditation, and then at the last you become what you want to actually become. So all these 8 stages talks about the transformation very beautifully, right? So that's how we are going to bring it to them in the lives, and at every stage you can introduce something for people. You can give a break. How I design my coaching session is, for example, if you have brought in a change in somebody, suppose, let's again take an example कि किसी को mental problem है, depression का या something to do with anxiety and all. So that person has come to you, did the inquiry, you asked questions. The first session is totally about them. You are not speaking much, you're just giving them triggers, you're just asking the right kind of questions so that everything that is being stored in them, it comes out. So generally people take good 1.5 hour 2 hours. So first session is never 45 minutes or 50 minutes, it goes on as per the requirements and needs of the client, right? It can usually take 1.5 2 hours. A lot of emotions will flow, so be prepared for that. So mentally you need to prepare, you need to be ready for whatever things are going to happen. Then the second session onwards, you will tell them, you will reflect that this is what we spoke about, these are the things that I noticed, and this is what we are going to do. So you will do reflection, brainstorming, and then sharing. Right? Now, third session onwards is where you will start giving them the asanas. That these are the asanas I feel will bring you immediate relaxation. This is what we're going to happen, right? Because first 2 times, if you give them solution, they will say, हर बार वो आपके पास आ जाएंगे. Every minute you will get a call, every 2 hours you will get a call कि मुझे ये anxiety हो रही है, what will I do? So first 2 sessions, give them for reflection, take yourself time to go through and prepare. And then third onwards, you will start giving them. So first would be some asanas, then along with some relaxation techniques, immediate relaxation techniques, जो हमने करी है, stress एकदम से करके and then body को dip छोड़ के. So these are very quick things that can help you in anxiety. Right? Taking a glass of water, counting to 10, pillow को मारना, so anger issues से करना, बहुत सारी ऐसी techniques you can introduce. Then obviously the yoga asanas, which everybody has to do. How are you ensuring whether the person is doing yoga asanas now? How will you do? Because they will not do in front of you. Sometimes they will do at home. So how will you ensure that things are happening? कुछ तो करेंगे ना हम. How will, otherwise हमें कैसे पता चल रहा है that the person is actually performing those asanas or not?
By his flexibility or something, we ask him to do.
Right?
He is flexible now compared to before.
Absolutely. You ask them to do that same asana in front of you once. What else can be done? See, people are lazy when it comes to change. Anybody, every one of us is like that. Every human is like that. So, how do we remove laziness from somebody to accept the change?
Motivate them by saying some past stories or past.
मोटिवेशन भी काम नहीं आता, ट्रस्ट मी. इनिशियली हमें बिल्कुल सब स्पून फीडिंग होता है ना, दैट यू हैव टू गिव देम एवरीथिंग प्रिपेयर्ड. So try and prepare your note schedule charts. So schedule charts are generally the checklist that how many times in a day you're performing the yoga. So every time they are doing, they are just putting a checklist. Right? The chances are that maximum number of people will not lie. They're not just putting tick marks. Even if they're doing it for 2 minutes, they will at least do it for 2 minutes and then put the tick mark.
Yeah.
Right? So we will give them a complete schedule and chart that how many times you ate what I told you to eat, how many times did you do the yoga that I gave you, how many times did you perform pranayama. So that complete scheduling in a Word format or in a Excel format, print it out, give it to them, write their names. So that's the amount of work the coach has to do initially. Later on, when they will come to that stage where they will say, now I'm preparing myself for change, automatic that thing will be
Where they see the
incorporated.
results, they'll be able to.
Yes, so initial, once they feel that, it takes time for people to make understand, because there was a discussion which was happening. I'm a part of a mother's group. So there, this lady came in suddenly and she said, I don't like people who keep talking about meditation techniques for depression and all. They should be going to the mental health uh, psychologist or psychiatrist. So I said, why do you believe that? Give me the reason why your belief system is basically talking about such things. And so now she started giving it's a science and people should take medications and all that. I said, then what if the person becomes addicted to those medications? Then what will happen eventually? How will you make sure that the person has come out of depression fine, but now he or she is addicted to those medicines for the lifetime? How will you ensure that he or she leaves? She got perplexed after this, and there are so many other females who joined us in that. So this is what, you have to be very sure. That's the reason why I keep saying that study and research and practice. Once we have done that, so now we can argue about these things because I know I have seen the results. I have seen changes. There are people associated with us who can also support the facts and evidence. So that's what we have to bring in. Our own theories, हमने जो changes किए, people won't believe for a longer period of time. They have come to you because they have seen that. But they will always learn and talk about the real success stories that you have brought in other people. Right? And that will only come with you're practicing yourself, making that change in you, and then researching. So whole amount of research that you have to incorporate, right? So change is very important, but change को manage करना and notice करना and creating a chart out of it is equally important for the coach to do that. Right? That's a difference between becoming a yoga practitioner, teacher, and a coach. Right? So coach helps them. No, 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 not many teachers will be cheerleaders and motivators. Not many teachers will be guides to you for a longer period of time. Right? So I just taught a meditation to somebody in the morning today, and she said, "What if I won't be able to do that?" I said, "Then come back. It's okay. We can always get into video call, WhatsApp. How much time it is going to take? 10 minutes. That's all right. I'm not going to charge you for that session. That's complimentary. People generally get into this mode कि हर session के पैसे हो जाएंगे फिर if I come back to you. But initially you have to give them that cheerleading motivation. It's okay. We are there for them. They have come to us for a right thing. So we will introduce that right thing in their life. Right? That is the reason why I wanted all of you to give that presentation so importantly, because I wanted to see how much are you changing your thought process? How much are you ready to become the coach?
I have not done the
Yes.
presentation.
So when everybody will be ready, we let them all come back. Then we will do that presentation again, maybe at the end of the session. Yeah, we will incorporate that. So Divya and Raki has got the maximum highest marks already.
Good.
Yeah, just to be present, it's very important. All right, any other questions related to change or whatever we have studied so far? Because now we are going to next class onwards, tomorrow onwards, we are going to bring the psychology part of it a little bit in details. For that to understand, you need to be able to understand all these things that we have studied so far. Right? How the transformation happens, how the changes are incorporating, how and model and style you're choosing, what kind of objective setting you're going to help people with, and then all about your asanas and meditation techniques that you are going to introduce. Then we will do a new meditation technique also tomorrow. वो भी नहीं हो रहा है. How many times you have done whiteboarding?
Once a week, ma'am.
Okay.
But the
Jyoti?
same problem with me, actually, I'm not able to. I told you that I forget. I don't remember the things.
Very good. That's the
So,
best part about living the life.
uh,
We don't store things.
so,
So that
I try
detachment is
ki,
there.
yes, I don't remember.
Uh,
So I try to practice, but nothing comes. Like,
Good, then don't do that. Do something else.
mm,
Or maybe in whiteboarding, you don't have to really do it only for forgiveness. You can do it for intentions, manifestations.
but I'm getting
So
emotional, ma'am. Lot of emotions, and the day full is getting spoiled because whenever I think of that, immediately I'm getting tears in my eyes. So it's somewhat emotionally disturbing.
if for initial time it would be emotionally disturbing, then it will help you balance your emotions. See, why do we feel sad about something? Why do we feel overwhelmed with emotions about something? Purely because it gives us pain or it gives us hurt, right? Or in some cases, it's good memories. Happy memories also brings tears, right? So people who have passed on, so like our parents,
So
if they
my
passed
point, what
on.
I'm trying to say is, even if I rub it, that is as part of the thing. Whenever I write and rub it, I cannot take it from my heart. It's a problem. It gets me more emotional, and I feel very what to say. On the that day, full day, I'm not able to concentrate on anything. Whenever I think of it, or even somebody talks to me, not regarding it also. When somebody talks to me also, I'm getting immediately. I'll get tears in my eyes. I cannot control.
So that means you're not rubbing it properly. So, see,
Okay.
more than writing and remembering, what happens is the intention behind that, right? That is the reason why when people ask कि हम कौन सी language में लिखे, हिंदी में लिखे, English में लिखे, or mother language में, so the language doesn't matter. What universe is understanding is basically the vibrations and intentions that you are sending out with this. So if you are really saying I forgive, then mean it from the bottom of your heart that you are forgiving. It's all right. Whatever happened happened. We can't go back and change whatever has happened. That's a very small fact that we don't realize. And just to keep that memory which has given us harm in us is meaning that we are giving more harm to us
Yes, ma'am.
physically and mentally. And people don't understand that
Emotionally.
all the things that is emotionally stored bring so much of physical discomfort. Like people who keep falling sick without knowing the reasons कि मेरे सारे टेस्ट क्लियर आए हैं, all these things have become clear, still I feel pain in my joints, still I feel pain in my, I have spondylitis, I have migraine. So migraine का कोई इलाज क्यों नहीं है in the entire world? Purely because it is purely emotional. There is a trauma you've gone through. There is a trauma that's stored. You may not remember exact point कब हुआ क्या हुआ, but it is stored. So what you have to do is you have to just take it out from your body. Tears are easily it becomes a very easy source of taking everything out because it says that हमारे souls की eyes मतलब the soul has the eyes, so that eyes basically works as the clearance of the entire soul and mind and body. So tears are the best form of taking out all the emotions. If you're feeling teary eyed, take it all out. It's all right. कितना रोगे? There was a time when I was doing these things, practicing on myself. So much of trauma was there in the mind, and छोटी छोटी बातों का था. Not really something serious. Has nothing happened in my life as such in the childhood, especially. But it was stored. Somebody must have said something and it was stored. So now I had to clear it out. So when I was clearing it out, I used to get very emotional. I was very emotional otherwise also. Now the time things have come to this stage that I don't feel crying. Even if somebody is crying too much, I don't feel like crying because all those emotions have passed on. All those memories that were stored. It's not that I don't get emotional. गाना सुनकर भी emotional हो जाते हैं. But for those reasons, you used to cry thinking about कि किसने क्या कहा था, वो कितना attached थे, या वो सब चला गया. You know? So you have cleared your body, and once you clear your body, the new behaviors which you will now accept through meditations or yoga will help you become a new person. Right? So that is very important. All those things that you are learning is basically to learn and accept that change in the body and mind. Right? So that change only will happen when the old will go and the new will come. So that new has to come. So accept that. Remove all the old. Accept the new. Right? पुराने कपड़े भी नहीं पहनते ना हम लोग. Once you have worn something for 7, 8 time, ninth time you will say कि सबने देख लिया. आजकल तो photographs का ज़माना है, so everybody has seen this dress on Facebook. I can't wear this dress now in any marriage because everybody has seen that. So we always go for the new ones. Why? Because we want to look good. We want to feel good about ourselves. So that's just the show that we want to do with clothes and makeups and all those things. Imagine the soul getting improved, the inside of your body, mind getting improved. How much happiness will it bring? So that's the whole purpose of this coaching sessions. Correct? So let's connect tomorrow morning again.
7:30,
And
ma'am.
we will do 7:30 to
Yes, ma'am.
9:30. Yeah. All right. See you tomorrow.
Thank you,
Have a
ma'am.
good
Thank you, ma'am.
evening.
Thank
Yeah.
you, ma'am.
I'll share
Yeah.
this PPT in the group right now.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you all. You look very bright today, ma'am.
Me? What?
Yeah, with
Very
the yellow
because-
dress and it reflects on your face.
Thank you so much.